gutanga intumbero n'amategeko abereye mu gisata cy'amazi.
Areen, regulatory authority in charge of water supply and sanitation in Burundi, in collaboration with Esawas, Eastern and Southern Africa Water and Sanitation Regulatory Association, organized a series of workshops to sensitize the key stakeholders on the strategy and regulatory framework for inclusive sanitation in urban and semi-urban areas in Bujumbura and 4 main urban centers in Burundi. The activities were funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The sewer network in Bujumbura City, which is the economic capital, is nearly 300 kilometers and is used by almost 10% of the population of the city. Buterere Fika Sludge Treatment Plant is the main infrastructure and was built on 40 hectares of a daily capacity of 40,000 cubic meters. There is also a laboratory associated with sanitation but is under-equipped. The maintenance of the sanitation infrastructures is also challenging, with expensive spare parts to be often replaced. There is also a need of sensitization of stakeholders in the good use of sanitation infrastructures, either collective or individual. The roles and responsibilities have to be clearly discussed, and all the stakeholders have to work together in order to achieve common goals. In Gitega, which is the political capital city since 3 years, there is a small sewer network used by only 185 households. It needs to be expanded since the city is expected to grow more and more. There is also a public operator for sanitation, SETAG, who is doing a good job but however need to be supported in many areas. There is a need of a sanitation master plan for the evolution of the city. Gitega has also a small fecal sludge treatment plant, which needs to be improved and well protected. Since the Gitega city is expanding rapidly, there is a need to build consequent infrastructure in the sanitation area. Ngozi is the third city of Burundi. It is an important agglomeration of people. Many projects in the sanitation sector are being carried on by several actors. However, during the workshop, it was raised some challenges. Ngozi is expanding and there is a need to increase sanitation services, especially with the expansion of a private university in the city, which requires appropriate sanitation services. There is also a project to build a fecal sludge management plant in Gashikanwa, which needs to be supported, especially with transport engines that are already in place. These engines require spare parts and other maintenance. There is also a need of a sensitization campaign in sanitation. Kayanza is the most populated province in Burundi with a higher density of population. The city was built on hills and there is a challenge with sanitation city master plan. Some actors intervened in the sanitation in Kayanza. However, they didn't achieve what they started in terms of infrastructures. There is a need to search for funds to finalize the infrastructures. Is a city nearing the Lake Tanganyika in the southern parts of Burundi. This geographical configuration implies a lot of things in terms of sanitation facilities. It is impossible to dig deeper in order to build toilets near the lake. Rumonge used to be the second city of the country and requires adequate specific sanitation infrastructure. For example, a couple of months ago, the toilets at Rumonge Market were full and it was very difficult to empty because there was no tools to use, but also there was no place to put the fecal sludge. The market was closed for 2 weeks because of that problem. How to empty, how to transport, where to put the sludge. For effective regulation, the regulators have developed and implemented a number of instruments and tools which generally include 1. Licensing. All WSS providers are required to operate under a license issued by the regulator. 2. Development and enforcement of guidelines, regulations, rules, and standards. Various guidelines, regulations, rules, and standards have been developed and have to be enforced to ensure compliance to the governing water supply and sanitation legislation. 3. Tariff setting. All WSS providers are required to submit tariff models to the regulator for analysis and approval. 4. Performance monitoring and quality control. The regulators undertake regular inspections of utility infrastructure and operations. Areas of non-compliance are addressed through written directives and orders. 5. Sector performance reporting and information dissemination. The regulators have in place systems for data collection on the performance of utilities that is used for sector reporting.
mu gutanga intumbero n'amategeko abereye mu gisata cy'amazi n'isoko ry'ibanze urudandazwa rw'ibitora amasoko ntangangufu
Areen, urwego rujejwe kugenzura ibisata by'amazi n'amasoko ntangangufu mu Burundi.